What's going on, guys? DrumQuig podcast, episode 38. And once again, we've got a first. We've got someone whose first love was drums. It's not a drummer anymore. It's a pretty fantastic guitar player. The one and only Jonny G from Lespecial. How you doing, man?
Thanks so much for having me, Matt. And I am still a drummer. And I even play, Dave Matthews said years ago that, not that he's the first person to say it, but he said the guitar is a drum. So not only do I play percussion on my guitar, but I still play drum kit now and then, and I definitely consider myself.
Heck yeah.
So I
love that. I love that you brought up Dave Matthews because we talk about Dave Matthews probably every episode. So
that's awesome. I mean, that makes sense when you got Carter Beauford in the mix.
Absolutely. Listen, Say Goodbye, what he does with the hot rods. I've been listening to that for 22 years, give or take. Still can't do it. Still can't figure out how he did it so fast and how he still does it to this day.
Sorry, are you talking about his sticks? Hot rods?
Just the hot rod solo he does at the beginning of Say Goodbye, where you're just like, my God.
Yeah, he's a machine. And anyone who hates on Dave Matthews, he's kind of an easy target, but you got to remind them that they've got one of the best drummers in the world. And that was the first concert I ever saw. I think it was year 2000. And I remember coming home with my friend and just being
God,
so awesome. Like, it was mind-blowing.
For sure. Well, I'm glad that the drums are still a good part of your life and you have good taste in music given the Dave Matthews, because I don't feel like people give Dave Matthews enough credit as being kind of a pioneer in that progressive realm. Because if you listen to some of the songs, the tempo changes, and how everything changes, the way the mood shifts, it's progressive music. And I feel like they don't get enough love in that sense for some of their songs.
I agree. It's not just college rock or folk pop or whatever you want to call it. There's definitely some complexity, and his chord voicings are bizarre, and I would agree with you there. I agree with you that Dave is definitely more than just college rock.
For sure. So, I mean, again, being a current guitar player / drummer / drumming on your guitar, where did drums start for you?
I think it was like 5th grade. I was a trumpet player, and we had a little band that I played like keys and trumpet in, and the drummer just really couldn't keep time with everyone else. And I remember I sat down at his kit and I played some stuff, and his dad yelled upstairs. He's like, I won't say his name, I'll just give him a fake name. He was like, Bart, that's the best drumming I've ever heard you do. And I was like, oh, that was John. Sorry. So that's when I realized, oh, okay, I can keep a rhythm. I know how to keep time with people. And sort of took it from there. Got a drum set not long after, and went on to study with Milford Graves in college. He was a renowned avant-garde jazz drummer. He actually played at Coltrane's funeral. A lot of people don't know that. So I studied with him every semester of college. So that's 8 semesters, which typically you can't do. But I had a cool advisor who saw how much I was getting with studying with him. And we even got to go to his house a couple times. We brought Billy Martin to his house once. And the way he taught was like telling stories. It wasn't like sit down and learn rudiments. It was very open-ended. He would talk about everything from his garden to healing medicinal herb to world affairs. I mean, he was all over the map, but it informed our music in many ways, and I'm grateful for his teachings for sure.
That's so cool, man. So cool. And I'm glad that advisor let you got through all 4, because that normally doesn't happen. And it seems like you definitely got the better part of the stick there, so to speak.
Nice one. Thick Firth 5A. The better part of the Thick Firth 5A. Actually, more of a 7A guy sometimes, but
5A, really?
Yeah, is that small or big that you'd expect?
I mean, usually the 5A doesn't get talked about. You get the 7As, the 747s, the 5Bs, and then the 2Bs, which I'm pretty sure my arm still has a dent from marching band by getting hit by one. So,
yeah, Rory uses I thought he used 5Bs, but he told me actually a couple days ago that he uses the Vader. I forget what number they are, but they're in between 5A and 5B. So he definitely hits hard and needs a lot of mass. But whereas I like to be a little more light and nimble, I remember Billy Martin being into the Regal Tip 7A sticks. And I always loved how those felt. They were just super nimble and lightweight. But Milford used to joke like, there was this kid who would always come to class with his bag of sticks, and he started calling him Sticks. And he's like, man, he's like, I'll just use whatever I got. I'll use 2 sticks out of the forest in a plastic bag. Like, I don't need no stick bag. So, I'll use whatever's there.
God, that's so good. We've all done it. We've all reached into the stick bag and grabbed, 2 different sticks, and you're like, well, this will work today.
Yep, exactly. What were you showing me there? Was that
I think it's
stick?
the 747s that just happen to be within reach. So, the needle parts, and I'm going to say part for the rest of my life. I know it's peered. I know I've been corrected. It's peered. I'm going to say Neil Peart because that's what I know and that's what I remember.
That's what I say, yeah. I was just watching Rush videos with Rory the other night after a show. That's one of his favorite bands, favorite drummers of all time. But yeah, I think we both say Peart.
For good reason.
Yes. So we'll have to get him on the show. He was the first thing I ever saw of Rush, before I'd even heard of Rush. I remember downloading a Neil Peart drum solo off like Napster, and I didn't know who he was, but it was a really cool drum solo, and that was like my introduction to them.
Did you just say Napster?
Maybe it was Kazaa. If it was a video, maybe it was like Morpheus or Kazaa or something. But yeah, those days.
Kazaa ruined more computers than anybody's willing to admit.
Nice.
I pick a poster for the decorations behind me. And of course, I was going to put up a Primus poster, just knowing you guys love Primus. I mean, you guys have been a band for 21 years at this point. Your band's old enough to drink.
Ah, that's true. I never thought of that. Yes, sir.
How have you guys kept it together and kept the 3 of you just trucking on and making amazing music?
It's a good question. We've been very lucky, I think, to live in close proximity. I feel bad for a lot of bands where all their members live in different states, and it's not easy to just get together and write, or get together and play, or get together and hop in the van. So growing up together in the same neck of the woods, Northwest Connecticut, the Berkshires, that definitely helped. And then we've all just kind of known that this is our kind of the greatest commitment in our life, and the longest standing relationship any of us have had. It is sort of a marriage, and it's our first priority to any of us. So we're blessed in that sense. And as long as the fans keep enjoying and keep buying tickets, then we'll keep going.
What was the best answer you could have given? Best answer.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, we love it. I mean, it isn't always easy, but we persevere, and we get on the planes, and we get in the vans, and we rock the crowds, because once you're on stage, it's quite a lot of fun.
For sure. And I know you guys are playing, just because I was looking it up earlier, you guys are playing the Caverns in Tennessee, and I'm so jealous that I don't get to go to that show, because that looks like an amazing venue, and I can imagine the acoustics are just everything you want them to be for a venue like that.
It's pretty neat. Yeah, you're in a cave underground. It's nice and cool. It's a little more drippy than I'd like, but it's a fair trade-off. But yeah, we're playing with our buddies Mo, which, funnily enough, another one of our drum teachers, Dr. Charlie Kyle, I've been studying with him on and off since I was 14. He does free drumming classes every Sunday, like religiously. He's a wonderful guy. He taught Vinny and Jim from Mo at SUNY Buffalo. So it was really cool seeing Mo at Bonnaroo and looking at them on the Jumbotron playing clave patterns, and knowing that my teacher Charlie taught me the same clave and taught them that clave, and that's what's coming off the Jumbotron to the people right now. So Vinny and Jim are kind of drum percussion homies. We've had Jim sit in on vibraphone, so this will be a good reunion in the cave.
Man, see, now I want to go even more.
Where do you live? We'll throw you on the guest list.
I'm in Florida, so that one would be a little bit harder.
Well, we should be down in Florida in
Trust me, if I can make it
November, I believe.
I'll be there. Don't worry. Whatever it is.
I don't know if it's announced yet, but we got shows with Talk in Florida in November.
Well, that's gonna be so good. I think they played. Did they play with Pigeons? I always mess up Talk and Tanned, and I think that's fair because their names are pretty close.
Yes. Yep. But Talk probably has played with Pigeons, and of course you got Isaac Teal on drums. He's a monster. So that'll be a good hang. Definitely let us know. We'll get you in there.
Heck yeah, man. I love that. And I love this community. And we were talking about this. I was talking about this with somebody yesterday, where it's like, I feel like even drummers just feel like the unsung heroes in the background. But if like the drummer messes up, like everybody knows, everybody's going to point it out. Guitar player could smash his drums, like smash his guitar, and everyone would cheer. No one would even be mad that it happened.
That's a really
But the
good
drummer
point.
messes up, and everyone's like, "Whoa!"
That's a really good point. I mess up a few times every show. Rory probably messes up once every 10 shows. He's so solid. And you're right. That's the backbone, the skeleton of everything. They have to have so much stamina, and they got more gear to set up and break down. Luckily, we had our good homie Jeremy Dietz on this last tour. He was Lettuce's drum tech, stage tech. He's been helping.
Heck yeah.
He's a Florida guy too now. He helped Rory out a lot, which is great to see because Rory has packed up that huge drum kit more times than I could count.
Yeah, it's a lot harder for him to pack everything up than you guys.
For sure. I love playing the drums, and I still consider myself a drummer, but I don't have to load up a drum kit into my car every week, so I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was talking to Kevin Leon of St. Paul and the Broken Bones, and he was talking about like the labels that we get. You know, oh, you're a drummer, that's all you are. Oh, you're a guitarist, that's all you are. And I kind of love that you immediately called out like, hey, look, I still play drums. And you were like, I'm not a drummer. I'm not just a drummer. I'm a musician. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody say I play percussion with my guitar, but I have said that like the piano is a percussive instrument. Like it should be a part of percussion.
Absolutely. And I remember jamming in my basement with Rory and Luke once, and I was playing this old Hammond organ we had found at like the dump. And I remember Rory saying, keys might be a good instrument for Jonny because it's kind of the bridge between percussion and melody. And that might have been one of the early impeti for us to add keyboards to our stage setup, which we now, of course, do. Got some percussive sounds on there. But yeah, rhythm is first and foremost always. So I try to approach everything from that lens.
For sure, man. And like pianos don't get enough love in that sense, but you watch a highly skilled piano player who's really like beating on the keys versus just, you know, gracefully playing. And you're like, that guy was a drummer who wasn't allowed to have a drum set. That's what that was right there.
Absolutely. Tigran Hamasyan comes to mind. Or like Hiromi, she's a very percussive rhythmic pianist. And then even, I've been talking about this lately, lighting designers, light guys should be drummers. They should have good time so that they're in sync with the music, with the light show. Everyone should be a drummer, I
For
think.
sure.
If you can walk, you can dance is the African proverb. A lot of my friends say, oh, I don't have rhythm. And I say, well, you have 3 kids, so clearly you know how to move in rhythm a little bit. If you get my drift, you can edit that out. But I think 99% of humans can be musical, can be harmonious, can be rhythmic. It just takes practice and exposure at an early age to encouragement. You know, a mentor who encourages them, parents who don't shush you up and say, stop that racket, you've got no talent. That's bullshit. I think humans are a rhythmic species for sure. And it just takes kind of cultivating that seed, and which some people do and some people don't. But I think we all have the groundwork for it for sure.
Absolutely. Anybody who's ever like marching band, we all know we inadvertently like would walk in step with other people. But I've watched people who I know don't have any musical background walk in step with somebody else, whether it's a couple, whether it's friends. It's a natural thing that happens, and people don't realize that is also a rhythm. That is a rhythm that is happening in that moment that you have created without even knowing it.
Absolutely. And back to Milford Graves, he would say, you know, you don't want to be metronomic. He said, if your heart is beating metronomically, something's wrong. Your heart should improvise, and it should wax and wane, and the spaces between the beats should change based on what your physiology requires. And so I also think, you know, you think of someone like Jay Dilla or Elvin Jones, like there's a certain breath to the beats. It's not always perfectly metronomic click tracks. So if people think they don't have any rhythm, maybe the rhythm just is a little more colorful, and they have to embrace that.
Yeah. We want the offbeats and not the four on the floor.
Exactly.
Listen, every now and then I'm that guy at the show where I'm just like, everybody's clapping. and I just hit that, and and you could see everybody going, "Do we clap when he claps?" I'm not. He looks pretty confident right now.
That's funny. I saw a
I
video of
usually get hit
Trey.
for that one, but
No way. Yeah, I saw a video of Trey. I guess he's got his little percussion rig back in the fish setup. And there's a video of him playing like tempo block on like the downbeat one. I was like, what's he doing? But Luke went to see him last night and he said he was actually doing some cool clave shit. So that's cool. Good on you, Trey.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I
See,
love the
guitar player who
not so
plays
much the
drums.
name drops, but your musical knowledge is insanely vast for a guitar player. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Nice. I was hanging with my buddy Will Trask. He's a Denver drummer. And we were just
I know
mind
that
blown.
name.
Yeah, you would know him. He's in bands with like Adam Deitch and Isaac Teal, and he plays with everyone in Denver. He is prolific, and we were just making fun of him. Like, dude, you know every freaking studio session musician that's been on any record ever. You know every active current percussionist and drummer right now. So we would just start quizzing him. So you got to get him on here because his musical knowledge is excessively vast, I will say.
Excessive. I think excessively vast is probably the best one. Listen, I don't need anybody showing me up, but I have times where I'm like, I know something, I say it so confidently, and then I end the show and I go, I was incorrect.
Yeah, I've been there, man.
Well, I already follow Will, so we might need to make that happen because I mean he's in the realm of you guys, Photon, Pigeons, like all that.
Oh, he would love to talk to you. He was such a nice dude. He just did a 5-day rafting trip where we were the musical entertainment every night around the campfire or propane fire, and got to know him a lot better and schooled us on all sorts of music and albums that I need to hear. And he's just got this crazy encyclopedic knowledge of not only music but also film and literature and like. So yeah, I would love to link you guys. He loves to chat.
Listen, man, I'm all for it. I said to somebody the other day, I said, for a while booking the show, it was kind of hard, like schedules weren't working out. And like, it was kind of that moment where you're like, do I keep doing this? And then I went from that to having to book people out to like September. And I was like, okay.
Good for you,
And I was like,
man.
I love doing this. I love talking. Like,
That's great. And you're doing a service. These kind of dialogues are important and they're educational. We're big fans of the podcast called I'd Hit That. He interviewed drummers. I'm sure you know about that one. Yeah.
mhm.
I love listening to that stuff.
I wish I had thought of that first.
Yeah, that's a good name. And it's funny that he opens every episode with a prank call.
My God, prank calls. The good old days before caller ID.
Or still a little bit in the van if you're bored.
Hear what?
We there's still room for prank calls even in the days with caller ID if you're in the van and
What's what's the best one? Now you brought it up, is there one that you thought of that you were like, that should go down in history? Like that was really good. Like somebody got you or you got somebody, because now I gotta know.
man, we had some good ones to Guitar Center about like a stolen guitar, where then the guy who stole the guitar would like join the call, and it was pretty epic. I'll send you some wave files one of these days.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I need that in my life for sure. I definitely need that in my life. You know, you talked about like when we were all, working to set this up, this community, prog, funk, whatever, there's so many categories you guys fit into, but it seems like you're in that community with just about everybody else. And even the names you've mentioned, and then, Bayless that you had mentioned, like it's cool to me that you guys like hang out and that you do stuff together and that's not always musically attached. So like how important is that to you in that community or in this community to kind of have those relationships and have those friendships?
Hugely important. I remember in the words of Todd Stoops, he says, "We're in it for the hang, not for the glory." And I can say that those moments are precious. And like we've worked 20 years to try to even get near our heroes or maybe open for them. And yeah, to be able to hang out in the green room for 30 minutes or in a restaurant in New Orleans or wherever it is and talk music is just kind of the apex of life. It's to talk to your peers and coworkers, so to speak, about things that are pretty niche and not everyone understands. Maybe your family or your friends, people who aren't deep into music, don't maybe understand. So to be able to really commiserate and share war stories and share favorite albums with the guys in Mo or Humphreys or whoever it is a dream come true, truly.
So amazing. So amazing to like you said, exactly what you said, like in it for the hang, not for the glory.
The hang is the best.
Well, and I feel like you guys inspire each other in that sense of like, obviously, the mashups that Humphrey does, but the mashups that you guys do. And something that I rediscovered yesterday was the Raining Blind Puppies. I cannot tell you how much I love that because I love all three of those songs.
Awesome.
And to hear them work together that well is scary. That was absolutely scary.
Thanks, man. We actually just posted a video of us playing that. Well, we posted 3 clips of us playing that at High Sierra, and one of went pretty viral for us. Like it got like, I don't know, 7,000-8,000 likes, which is higher than our stuff usually gets. And so we've kind of brought that back into rotation. The reason we played it at High Sierra is because we had Jay Lane playing with us, original drummer for Primus, drummer for Dead & Co. Great guy. And he was like, we asked him to sit in and he was like, really? I could sit in? We're like, of course you can sit in. You're our hero. And so we figured we'd do some Primus stuff with him. And it's cool because that symbol, that 16th note Zilbel part was clearly Korn kind of channeling Primus. So it was cool to kind of bring those two tunes together with the little mashup. But yeah, we've brought that song back into rotation now. We got some hate on the comments. If you go viral, you got to expect you're going to get some negative comments, which any press is good press. But there was some hate for the fact that we did Blind in a standard tuning, which is totally fair. Korn does it in drop A because they have 7-string guitars, which is very low and means. So we've adjusted and we did it. We've done it a few times now in drop A. So we'll have to post a clip of that for all the haters and say, here you go. Here's the what's it called? The more
here's the fixed version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accurate version. So thanks for checking that out. Yeah, that's a fun one.
No, for sure, man. And I literally sent it to like 4 people at work today. And that's a big thing when you work from home is to send people music and they're like, hey, listen to this. Like I pulled somebody into a meeting to spend 3 minutes listening to the beginning of that to watch their face go, huh? Like that whole like experience was so much fun to watch. So I love it. I love it.
We love to hear about fans and friends showing our music to other people and getting good reactions. So we really appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Well, like I said, it sounds like you've got that show coming up in October, November. We don't know where. I know you said it hasn't been announced. So I'm curious to see where that show's going to end up. And hopefully it's in the Tampa area. Just saying.
Yeah, there's a few Florida shows with Talk. And I think one might be in that area. So stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah. Dude, I'm going to be so excited for that because I'm going to be like, hey, I knew this was going to happen. Like, how did you know?
Insider
info.
Perfect. Yeah, maybe you can meet Dietz, the drum tech, and Ori, and that'd be good.
Dude, that'd be absolutely incredible. And when I started doing this podcast, this was never a fame and fortune and, fortune and glory for all of us, Indiana Jones fans. It was just to talk to you guys. And like, I covered MMA for 16 years. And when I talked to fighters, they're just people. But drummers, musicians, we all have such a different outlook on everything, whether it's music, whether it's life, whether it's anxiety, whether it's anything. There's a different perspective that comes through. And I've just loved getting to know and talk to all these people, including people who I've, looked up to and bands that I'm a fan of, big fans of. So you're like, when you reached out, I was like, holy shit, like, this is cool.
That's so cool. I can't remember who I found you through. I don't know if you remember, but I saw some of your drum conversations and I love talking about drums. So I hit you up and thanks for accepting. I didn't know you had heard of us before. That's cool.
Heck yeah, man. Dude, I always like to go through and see what songs I had saved because like when you get into this realm, sometimes if you let it just play, the Spotify playlist go a little crazy. But I had saved, let's see, I'm going to Jackwise, Omni Squid, Sugar Boy, and of course, Raining Blind Puppies, because,
Awesome.
magical.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Jackwise was
Absolutely, man. Well, this is the part. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the Omni Squid, we're going deep cuts, but that's 11 years ago at this point. I guess that's a deep cut now. I think that's how that works.
I think that was 2014. So yeah, 12 years.
Jeez, it's amazing how time has passed. But this is the part, man, where I give the floor to you. Anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to talk about, any projects you got coming. Obviously, we know about the secret Florida shows that are no longer a secret, but take the moment to thank who you want.
Well, thank you for having me. Obviously, I'll thank my teachers, Milford Graves, Charlie Kyle, some of my favorite drummers, John Theodore, Adam Deitch, Rory Dolan, and I could mention that I just released a solo album. It's an acoustic album, but a couple tracks have me on drum kit. And if people want to check out the Jonny G Spotify, some of my drumming is up there, and there's a lot more to come. I'm going to be releasing some of my electronic beats and hip hop beats, and also songs with me playing all the instruments. And it's been really fun to kind of finally get to share. Like you said, I'm not just a guitarist, but a musician of various instruments. And it's been really fun to share those other sides of myself. So I'd really appreciate people check that out and have a listen and shoot me a message. Let me know what you think.
Heck yeah. And I'll definitely will link it on the page when their episode comes out so everybody can take a look and, make sure that people do check it out, because you're not just a guitar player. You are a musician. And I think we're going to start going away from that drummer label because it has changed so much.
Good call. I agree. Well, thanks so much for having me, man.
Well, this is the part
to talk to you.
Hey, absolutely. Well, this is the part where I do my shtick. Jerseys for drummers. Super excited that I ordered my next jersey. It's going to be coming. Should have it in time for Florida Drum Fest. That's September 20th in Eustis, Florida. Super excited for that because it's going to be the first time we're going to be out and about. My buddy BJ is coming with me, who also got a jersey. So it's going to be cool to see somebody else wearing a jersey that's not me or dad, that has the logo on it. And we're going to be doing interviews. So anybody who comes to the table, anybody who wants to talk to us, happy to talk to anybody and do like a little collection of that. Stay Tuned Records, Tarpon Springs, local record store. I love Doug and Amy. I'm going to shout them out every single time. No, they're not a sponsor. No, they're not paying me to say this. I just do it because I love tangible media, and the fact that records have become so prevalent anymore and still a part of our everyday life is super exciting to me, because I grew up in a time where records had kind of gone out and now they've come back in. So I really, really love that. And yeah, I think that was everything. But Jonny, man, absolute pleasure. Super cool to talk to you. And yeah, we're gonna be talking after this to link up and see who else we can get to Quig out with. So appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, man. That was so fun. I'd love to do it again. Talk anytime.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed the show, please like, share, and subscribe to the DrumQuig podcast. Thank you so much.